Cutcom part 2. Here we go. I bet lots of people just start off like that. They just start off with cutcom where they're just like, all right, here we go. And then they just cut right to the story. Jav, like Phase Jav, he does that. Blah. Like he just says something really quickly and then he just goes right into the story. And it just cuts right into it. So I've been talking a lot about my job, which I did the last part. But this time, it's gonna be more about my job. You know, I'm just filling up the milk products. And this guy comes over to me and I can tell he's from this company. He's got this name on his coat. Starts talking to me. He's like, oh, I bet these oat milks sell pretty well. I'm like, these ones? No. The other ones? Yeah, they do. Not these ones, though. Gives me this pamphlet. Gives me his card, which was pretty cool. And he tells me, you know, products he has. And he flips it over for me. You know, being like a very personable, respectable, I guess you could call salesman. Things are going fine. And I'm like, okay, I'll give this to my boss. Right by me walks the main boss, who is like the boss of my boss. She's also kind of my boss. 2 weeks ago, I didn't have a boss. My boss was the boss's boss. Anyway, that's off track. So she walks by. I just give it to her because I'm like, okay, here, this guy here, he wants to sell us this product. And then she says straight up to him, we don't have any room, which is fine. And he's like, okay, well, just take it. She's like, well, it's just gonna go in the garbage. Like, honestly, he's like, just take it. It's like, well, it'll be a waste. If you give it to me, I'm just gonna put it right in the garbage. Like that's exactly how she said it. That kind of like, well, you know, we're just gonna do this kind of tone. You didn't have to say like that. You did not. It's not as much as the way she said, but just saying like, oh, we're just gonna throw this in the trash. It's just pretty disrespectful. You know, I'm sure she's dealt with all kinds of these people, but still, it's pretty disrespectful. So I'm like, hey, you know, thanks, I really appreciate it. And he turns around and he's like, yeah, no, thanks for your time. This bitch over here, I don't know about her. I'm not really grateful for her time. Upper management is not very good. I took my break yesterday, 30 minutes before we close. And the next day, I come in, our manager is like, hey, so were you the one that took a break at 6:30? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable is a big word. And it's ridiculous. You know why? Just because they don't want you to. Because they don't want you to. They want you to take your breaks earlier. But legally, I can take my break anytime. But because I took it like a bit later, I get the shit beaten out of me. And then also, we get these orders, these huge orders. And then this one order came in super late. We didn't have enough time to finish it. And then she's like, I came in today, empty shelves. Honestly, I would have talked back to her and be like, if you don't think there's not enough being done, then hire someone else. If you don't like what I'm doing, fire me. Okay? Straight up. Like, if you're gonna give me shit, then do something about it. She's part of that group where it's like, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that because we say so. Because we are upper management. Another thing, I need to be available one day during the weekend. Why? I don't know why. Because I have to. Because it's policy. It's so stupid. What if I can't work on the weekend? My manager brought up a good point. What if there's a part-timer? There's a good chance they're not going to be able to work weekends. So what happens then? They're just saying that because they're understaffed. And they're understaffed because they're cheap fucks. I got a really spicy tip today. We don't get tips very often. But today, I got the biggest tip I've ever gotten. 10 buckaroos. She came in with her walker and it was snowing out. She was literally like, I can't shop. She's like, can you do this? Can you do that? Because she couldn't shop. She had like a bad hip. For the first time ever, I've worked 3 grocery jobs. I've worked probably grocery for 2 full years. And that's the very first time where customers asked me to walk around with them, bag stuff. And I was like, I was like, this is like shopping with my mom. I'm just like in the back. She's like, hey, get this, get that. It's like I'm going for a shop with my mom while I'm getting paid. It's nice. It's a nice gig. That's why they pay me the big bucks. You know, I was, being a good Samaritan, just bagging stuff, bringing the cart around, bringing it outside. And then she asked me to pour washer fluid into her trunk. So we pop open the trunk. I twist the cap off. I pour it in. I'm like, I better get a good tip for what I'm doing because not a good tip. I better get something. Because if she gives me nothing, but she pulls out $10. Wow. Okay. She means business. She knows what I like. Anyway, that's all I got for today. I will see you later. Bye-bye.